Imagine waking up to the roar of bulldozers carving through your family's legacy like it's just another Tuesday chore. That's exactly what hit me hard when I stumbled out of bed, coffee sloshing in my mug, only to see my quiet suburban backyard turned into a war zone of hot tar and entitlement. And there she was, Gloria Hargrove, the self-appointed queen of Willowbrook Estates HOA, clipboard gleaming like a scepter, smiling as if she just solved world hunger by ruining my morning. It started innocently enough, or so I thought. I'd moved into Willowbrook 5 years ago, chasing that American dream of a tidy lawn and friendly neighbors in a sleepy corner of suburban Ohio. The houses were cookie-cutter perfect, beige siding, white picket fences, and mailboxes that screamed, conformity or else. But beneath the manicured hedges lurked the HOA, a beast of bylaws thicker than a phone book, enforced by folks who treated rules like holy scripture. Gloria was their high priestess, mid-50s, always in pastel power suits, hair sprayed into an immovable bob, and a voice that dripped honey over steel. She'd wave at you during block parties, all smiles and community spirit, but cross her invisible lines, and you'd get a fine faster than you could say property values. Me? I'm Alex Rivera, a graphic designer working from home, the kind of guy who keeps to himself. I'd heard the whispers about Gloria, how she'd find the Johnsons for a bird feeder that disrupted avian traffic patterns, or force the Patels to repaint their door because taupe isn't in the approved palette. Rumors swirled that I was some reclusive weirdo, probably because I skipped the mandatory potlucks to meet deadlines. He's hiding something, they'd murmur at the community pool. Why else avoid the barbecues? I ignored it, figuring live and let live. Big mistake. Turns out, silence is just an invitation for the Glorias of the world to rewrite your story. That fateful morning, the engines weren't a dream. I threw on jeans and bolted outside, heart pounding. My backyard, once a serene patch of grass where I sketched under the old oak tree, was now a construction site. Workers in hard hats were dumping gravel, a backhoe ripping up sod like it was wrapping paper. And smack in the center, directing traffic with her clipboard, stood Gloria. "What the hell is this?" I shouted, voice cracking over the din. She turned, her smile as plastic as the neighborhood's fake flowers. "Oh, Alex, good morning. Isn't this exciting? We're extending the community pathway for better pedestrian access. It connects the cul-de-sac to the park. Think of the children. Children? This is my yard. Gloria. My private property. You can't just bulldoze through it." Her laugh was that patronizing titter, like I was a toddler throwing a tantrum. Now, let's not get dramatic. The board reviewed the surveys, and this strip is essential for flow. It's in the covenants, page 47, section 3.2. We're enhancing value for everyone. I stared at the fresh trench cutting across my lawn, right up to my patio. Enhancing? You're destroying my garden beds. I planted those tomatoes myself last spring. Tomatoes? She flipped a page on her clipboard, eyebrows arching. Well, per guideline 12.4, vegetable gardens must be screened from view to maintain aesthetic harmony. Consider this a courtesy removal. The workers chuckled behind her, but I caught one glancing away, uncomfortable. I felt the heat rising, but I bit it back. Yelling wouldn't help. It'd just feed the rumors that I was unstable. Instead, I snapped photos on my phone, documenting every divot. "This isn't over," I muttered, retreating inside. As I slammed the door, I heard her call out, Community first. Alex, you'll thank us later. Thank them? For turning my sanctuary into a sidewalk? That night, I paced my living room, the scent of disturbed earth seeping through the windows. The HOA had overstepped before, but this was invasion. Whispers from neighbors had painted me as the odd one out. He works alone all day, probably plotting something. Gloria fueled it, I bet, to isolate me. But I wasn't going to explode. No, I'd watch, wait, and strike smart. My dad, a retired accountant, always said, "Fools rush in with fists. Winners audit the books. Time to audit." The next day, I played it cool. Dressed in khakis and a button-up, like one of them, I drove to the Willowbrook Community Center, a squat building with fake columns and a sign boasting unity through order. Inside, it smelled like stale coffee and superiority. Gloria's office was at the end, walls plastered with framed certificates for outstanding neighborhood governance. She looked up from her desk, surprise flickering before the mask snapped back. "Alex, what a pleasant visit." "Coffee? It's decaf, better for the nerves." "No thanks," I said evenly, sitting uninvited. "Let's talk about that pathway you're building through my yard." Her pen tapped rhythmically. As I explained, it's a vital link. The board voted 5-0. Progress. You know, progress on my land? Show me the permit. She sighed, like I was exhausting her saintly patience. "Alex, you're not even a full member, your lot's on the edge. Remember, but we're inclusive. This benefits you too. Easier access to amenities. Amenities like the pool I never use because of the no solo swimmers rule?" I leaned in. "Gloria, that path crosses my deed line. I checked the plat map last night." Her eyes narrowed, but she flipped her clipboard dramatically. "Our internal survey says otherwise. Minor adjustments for the greater good. You wouldn't want to be seen as obstructive, would you? The neighbors are already talking." There it was, the subtle threat, wrapped in concern. "Talking about what? That I'm the hermit who skips meetings? Or that you're paving over private property without consent?" She chuckled again, that infuriating sound. "Oh, Alex, paranoia doesn't suit you. It's just chatter. People notice when someone's detached. But join a committee. We'd love your input." I stood, forcing a smile. "Input? Like how you'd love my land? No, Gloria. This adjustment ends now." As I left, I heard her murmur to her assistant, "Poor thing. He'll comply eventually." They all do, not me. That evening, under the cover of dusk, I walked the new pathway, flashlight in hand. It snaked through my yard, ending at the park fence, convenient for the HOA's new picnic area, but a nightmare for my privacy. Cars from the cul-de-sac would cut through, turning my backyard into a thoroughfare. It was a power play, pure and simple. Gloria wanted control, and my edgelot status made me an easy target. But I had a plan brewing, dig deeper than her backhoe ever could. I started with the basics. Pulled my property deed from the county website, dated back to the 80s when Willowbrook was just farmland. My lot extended 50 feet beyond where they dug. No easements, no HOA claims. Next, I visited the county recorder's office, a dusty building downtown where clerks moved like molasses. "Looking for HOA filings on Willowbrook," I said to the board attendant. She handed over a stack. Buried in the permits was their enhancement project, approved for public areas only, not private lots. But the invoice, billed to a firm called Harmony Pathways Inc. I jotted it down, then drove to the address, a vacant strip mall with weeds cracking the pavement. Shell company. Gloria was funneling dues into fake contractors. This wasn't oversight, it was fraud. Emboldened, I knocked on neighbors' doors. First, the Millers next door, retirees who'd been fined for a non-conforming mailbox. "Gloria's a tyrant, mister." Miller grumbled over tea. She pressured us to volunteer funds for her pet projects. Said it was for unity. Then the Lees across the street. She showed up unannounced, inspected our garage. Fined us $200 for clutter visible from the street. We paid to avoid the gossip. Each story built the picture. Gloria ruled by fear and fines, her board a puppet show. By week's end, I had affidavits from 4 households, plus photos of the dig site timestamped. Rumors about me, let them fly. I was the quiet observer, piecing together her downfall. But patience has limits. Every morning, I'd watch joggers trot the new path, waving obliviously. One evening, Gloria herself strolled by, clipboard in tow. Noting improvements, she spotted me on my porch. "Alex, loving the pathway, is getting great feedback." "Feedback like the dirt tracked into my kitchen?" I shot back, casual but pointed. Her smile faltered. "Minor inconveniences for major gains. You should embrace change. Change like how you embraced the Johnson's fence last year, tore it down for view obstruction." She bristled. "That was policy. They thanked us later. Did they? Or did they move out to escape the harassment?" Her voice sharpened. "Watch your tone, Alex. Accusations like that could make things uncomfortable." Threat noted. But I just nodded. "Uncomfortable? Like waking to bulldozers? Got it." She marched off, heels clicking indignantly. That night, I emailed my lawyer friend, Sarah, a sharp litigator who'd handled HOA messes before. "This is gold," she replied. "We'll file for injunction, countersue for trespass and fraud. But stay clean, no blocking yet." I agreed, but the itch grew. Gloria amped the pressure. A courtesy notice in my mailbox fining me $100 for failing to maintain pathway adjacency. Absurd. Then the whispers escalated. Neighbors avoiding eye contact. One whispering, "Heard you're fighting the HOA." Bad idea. Isolation tactic. Classic Karen move. But I observed, documented. Sarah drafted the cease and desist, demanding path removal. We served it at the next board meeting, which I crashed uninvited. The community center buzzed with HOA loyalists. Gloria presided like a monarch. Item 4, pathway updates. "It's a hit." I stood. "Hit? On my property. Here's your update." I slapped the papers on the table. Gasps rippled. Gloria's face tightened. "This is disruptive, Alex. Meetings are for members. Disruptive like your construction crew? Read it. Cease and desist or court." Her entourage murmured. One board member, a weaselly guy in golf attire, piped up, "You can't threaten us. Bylaws prohibit. Bylaws don't trump deeds." I cut in. "Your path is illegal. And that contractor? Ghost town." Gloria's eyes flashed panic, quickly masked. "Nonsense. We'll review this. Internally. Review fast," I said, exiting to scattered whispers. The Liu-Tang was on, tension thick as the tar they'd laid. Days blurred into a siege. Gloria retaliated with petty enforcements. A fine for my overgrown grass, it wasn't. Another for unauthorized signage, a no trespassing post. Neighbors split. Some sided with her, fearing reprisal. Others slipped me notes of support. She's out of control, one read. I dove deeper, hacking public records legally, via FOIA. Found emails. Gloria to board. Rivera issue resolved via reallocation. Community dues cover. Reallocation, her favorite euphemism for theft. And the kicker, a chain where she admitted, internal maps adjusted for efficiency. No need for county hassle. Fraud jackpot. Sarah hooped when I forwarded it. This buries her, but I couldn't wait. One sweltering afternoon, as SUVs zipped the path, I acted. Dragged my old pickup across it, blocking both ends with sawhorses and a sign. Private property. HOA trespassers prosecuted. Not subtle, but satisfying. Minutes later, Gloria arrived in her pristine Prius, board in tow. Alex, this is vandalism. I sipped iced tea from my lawn chair. Vandalism? Like digging up my yard without asking. You're obstructing public access, she shrieked, clipboard waving like a flag. Public? It's my backyard. Gloria. Your public ends at the fence you ignored. The polo shirt guy muttered. Bylaws state. I laughed outright. Bylaws? You're standing on my tulips. Trespassing. Pal. She spun as phones emerged, neighbors filming. Stop recording. This is private business. Private. I echoed. Voice rising for the cameras. Now you respect private? After paving my privacy away, the crowd tittered. A mix of shock and schadenfreude. Someone yelled, "Get off his lawn." Gloria, her face purpled. A ridiculous mix of rage and ridicule. I'll call the authorities, she spat. Do it, I said coolly. Sheriff's a client of mine, designed his website. He'll love the story. She stormed off. Entourage scrambling. Cheers erupted. Mrs. Lee brought lemonade. About time someone stood up. Viral fame hit next. Local news dubbed it Backyard Battle. Designer versus Dictator HOA. Gloria panicked, sending community officers, rent-a-cops, to move my truck. They eyed the deed I waved, muttered apologies, and left. Then the lawsuit. HOA sued for obstruction. Perfect trap. Sarah grinned. They think they're the hammer. We're the anvil. Court day dawned crisp. The courthouse reeked of varnish and vendettas. Gloria sat prim, lawyer slick as oil. Judge Harlan, grizzled and no frills, banged the gavel. Willowbrook HOA versus Rivera, obstruction. Countersuit, trespass, fraud. HOA lawyer pontificated. Your Honor, Mr. Rivera disrupted vital infrastructure for selfish reasons. Sarah rose, voice like a scalpel. Vital? They built illegally on private land, falsified permits, misappropriated funds. She slammed the binder. Deeds from 80s, photos of destruction, fake contractor address. Harmony Pathways? Empty lot. Dues siphoned for Gloria's ego project. Objection overruled. Witnesses paraded. Millers on fines. Lees on harassment. Mrs. Patel? She said, we dictate standards here. Arrogant. Gloria on stand. Squirming. Sarah, did you verify boundaries? Internal maps sufficed, she mumbled. And permits. Pending. Sarah unveiled the email. Rivera issue resolved. We make the rules. Care to explain? Gloria stammered. Mask cracking. Courtroom hushed, then murmured in disgust. Gavel thundered. For Defendant Rivera. HOA removes path at own cost. Pays damages for trespass. Fraud. MS. Hargrove. Resign or face charges. Gloria fled, pale as her blouse, dodging reporters. Sarah high-fived, buried. Morning after. Air fresher. Demolition crew arrived. Real workers, not Gloria's phantoms. They ripped up concrete, shaking heads. Dumbest path ever. Neighbors picnicked, toasting the unpaving. I walked the scar barefoot, soil reclaiming. Planted new seeds, watching green sprout. Gloria vanished, house sold, rumors of audits trailing her. News follow-up, message for HOA victims? Stand firm, I said. Rules bend, truth doesn't. Whispering to the oak. Got him. Wind rustled approval. In the end, community isn't clipped hedges, it's respect. Gloria forgot. Trample enough, and the trampled rise. So, tell me, was Gloria the real vandal, or just a product of a system that rewards control freaks? True or false, and why? Drop your take below.